Hi, welcome to my video on the percent of decrease problems. Percent of decrease is opposite to the percent of increase, where you're taking off a certain amount. So let's see if we can follow similar to increase. Subtract each. 40 subtract 30 is 10. 85 subtract 40 is 45. So it's blank is decreased by 10. So 40 is decreased by 30 to give us 10. 85 is decreased by 40 to give us 45. So a decrease means same as subtract. So if you went to change from 40 to 30, the change from 40 to 30 is a decrease. Decrease because you're going down. To change from 85 to 40 is a decrease. So if you think about it, it's a decrease of 45. Or in the first one, it's a decrease of 10. So decrease because you're going, increase would be the other way from 30 to 40, going up by 10. Find the decrease in each. 80 to 50, you subtract 50 from it, and you get a decrease of 30. From 300 to 180 is 300 minus 180, which is 120. The decrease is going down. Okay, you can pause and practice and work these out and play back. 64 to 31. 64 subtract 31 is 33. 178 going down to 105. When you subtract, it's 100 and it's a 73. 73. 100 is there, so 78 subtract 5 is 73. Now let's work out the percent of decrease. It's the same as the percent of increase in that the percent of decrease is the decrease over the initial amount or value changed to percent. In increase, it was the increase over the initial amount to give us the change, percent of change. So find the percent of decrease in each. So 20 down to 11. So that's 20 minus 11 is 8. The decrease is 8 over the initial amount. Our number is 20. So 8 over 20, if you use a calculator or if you multiply it by 5 over 5, you will get 40 over 100, which is 40%. Remember now, you can divide 20 into 8 with a calculator, or you can work it out like that. It's up to you. 25 to 9, 25 take away 9 is 16. So 16 is my decrease over the initial. It's just 25. So we multiply by 4 over 4. So that gives us 64 over 100 when you multiply 16 by 4 and 25 by 4. And 64 over 100 is 64. But if we just use our calculator, just for a bit of fun, if we practice our calculator to do 16 divided by, turn on a calculator, and do 16 division 25, we get decimal 64. So, or you can do a long division with a pencil. 60 to 15, 60 subtract 15 is 45. Now we have the decrease, which is 45 over 60. And 45 over 60, you can reduce it down to it. Let's see. Let's try the calculator. Can't see it regularly. 45 division 60. 0.75. Decimal 75. So it's 75%. If I want to, I could reduce it down by 15 into 45 goes 3. 15 to 60 goes 4. 3/4 is 75 out of 100, so 75%. So again, the calculator works fast when you're working out these problems. practice. Let's pause the video, work these out, and play back to see if you're right. Find the percent of decrease in each. So 50 to 30 is 50 minus 30 gives you 20. So it's 20, the decrease over the initial 50. So 20 over 50 multiplied by 2 over 2 is 40 over 100. And 40 over 100 is 40%. So you have a 40% decrease. 200 subtract 80 is 120. So it's 120, the decrease over 200. And if you notice, you can divide by 2 to get 100. Divide by 2 and I get 60. 60 over 100 is 60%. And you can use a calculator and divide 200. 120 divided by 100 on a calculator will give you 0.6, which is 60. Now we have some word problems. I'm going to do these two. You can practice on the two below, or you can pause and work all these out right now. It's your choice. The price of a house went from 400,000 to 300,000 in 1 year. What is the percent of decline in 1 year? So the decline is 400,000. Take away 320,000. And when you do, you get, that's a 3, and that's a 10, that's an 8. So your decline is $80,000. It went down $80,000. So $80,000 over the initial amount, which is $400,000. You can use your calculator, or you can cross out the zeros because you're dividing by 10 each time. So you get 8 over 40, and 8, 1 into 8 goes 8, 1 into 40 goes 5. So 1/5 is 2 over 10 multiplied by 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. So 2/10 is 0.2, and 0.2 is 20%. Again, you could divide with a calculator and work that out. Of 400 acres of natural trees, a city now has 350 acres. What's the percent of decline in the natural trees? So it went from 400 down to 350. So that's 50 acres decline. So the decline is 50 over the initial, which is 400. Cancel that, and I get 5 over 40. 5 over 40 is 1/8. Now, I don't know if you memorized what 1/8 is. 1/8 is decimal 125, which is 12.5%. Or if you take your calculator and work out 450 divided by 400, 50, division 400, you'll get 0.125. But if you use your pencil, you can work it out. 1/8 is decimal 125, which is 12.5% decrease. Now, pause your video and work these out. There's 2 of them here. See if you get the right answer. A stock sold, a $68 stock sold for $57.80. So that means it went from $68 and went down to $57.80. So we have to subtract. So we put some zeros in. 0 subtract 0 is 0. Can't subtract, so that's a 7, and that's a 10. So that's a 2. 10 subtract 8 is 2. 7 subtract 7 is 0. And 6 subtract 5 is 1. So it went down $10.20 over the initial amount of the initial price of the stock is 68. So without dividing that, let's use the calculator. So we have $10.20 divided by 68. So $10 and I said 20 cents. Yep. Division 68. And we get 0.15. So that's 0.15. And so that amounts to 15% because you move your decimal places 2 places to the right. As you can see, sometimes the calculator is convenient, makes it easier to do. The number of seniors in a club declined from 150 to 120. Find the percent of decline. So we got 150, subtract 120, as you can see quickly, that's a 30. So it's a 30 decline over the initial number in the club. So we cancel that and we get divide by 10, cancel the zeros. 3 into 3 goes once, 3 into 15 goes 5. 1/5 again is 2/10, and 2/10 is decimal 2, and decimal 2 is 20%. So 20% decline. Right. So again, if you took 150 and multiplied it by 20%, 150 times 0.2, that will give you 300, one decimal place. So you see that you have 30. So that's checking it back. 20% of 150 is 30. You take 30 off of 150, you get 120. So that's just checking it back. Okay, next page. We have some more problems, but the problems are on decrease, but they're a little bit different. Let's check to see what these are about. Find the number when 80 is decreased by 25%. So this time you're finding it. You have the percent, so you're going to find the new number. So 80 is decreased by 25. So if you take 25% off 80 times 80, then once you get that percentage done, then you'll have to subtract it from 80. So 25% is decimal 25. So 80 times decimal 25, let's use our calculator. So 80 times decimal 25, and we get 20. 20. Notice that 25 is 1/4, and 1/4 of 80 is 20. So you get, there's a decline of 20. So you start with 80 and it decreased by 20, so you'll have 60. Find the number when 80 is decreased by 25% off the 80. Next one. An oil price at $58 a barrel decreases by 7.4%. Find the new price of the barrel of oil. So it's a decrease of 7.4. So 7.4% times 58. And that's decimal 0.74 times 58. Move your decimal places 2 places to the left. And when we multiply 58 by decimal 58 by decimal 74, 58 times decimal 0, what was it, 74, $44.29.2. So that's $4.29.2. That's a decline. So if we round that off, that becomes $4.29, because the 2 is less than 5, so we leave it as a 9. If we subtract that from 58, so 58 goes right there with the decimal. We're going to subtract, put the 2 zeros in. Can't subtract, so that becomes a 7, and that becomes a 10. Still can't subtract, so the 10 becomes a 9, and we move 1 over. So 10 subtract 9 is 1, 9 subtract 2 is 7, and that's a 7 right there. Subtract 4 is 3, so we get the new price is $53.71. Again, you can use your calculator and subtract these without doing it with the pencil. There's 2 problems to practice here. Work these out, pause the video, and come back and see if you have the right answers. A catering company loses 8% of their drinking glasses in a year. How many of their 150 glasses remain after 1 year? So they're going to lose 150 glasses, and they're going to lose 8%. So let's find 8% of 150. 8% is decimal 0.8. So if we take our calculator and put in 150 times 0.08, 12. Okay, just 150 times 0.08, which is 8%, gives us 12. Okay, so they're going to lose 12 glasses. So they had 150, they're going to take away 12, and that's a 4, and that's a 10. 10 minus 8 is 2, 4 minus 1 is 3. So they have 138 glasses left. How many of the glasses remain? So 12, they lost 12 because it's 8%, but they have 138 left. So be careful on the reading. I could have asked you how many did they lose, and you would have stopped at 12, but I asked you how many glasses are left, so you had to subtract. A survey of a fishing stock in 2019 revealed the stock declined from 4,000 tons to 2,500 tons. Find the percent of decline in the stocks. So it was 4,000, and it went down to 2,500, so this is 0. We've got to subtract 0. That's a 3, and that's a 10. 10 subtract 5 is 5. 3 subtract 2 is 1. So it declined by 1,500 tons over the initial amount, which is 4,000. So I could take a calculator without reducing it and take 15,000 and divide it by 4,000 because I have a calculator. So I get decimal 375, 37.5. So 37.5, which is 37.5%. Notice you can scratch your zeros here and get 15 because you're dividing by 100. 5 into 15 goes 3. 5 into 40 goes 8, so you have 3 eighths. So you could take the 3 and divide it by 8, so it was 3 division 8, and again you get the same answer, decimal 375. So dividing it right away gives you the decimal change to percent. So you have a decline of 37%. If you like my video, then you can click on the like button, the subscribe button, the notification bell. You can write a comment on my video if you wish. And you can also visit my website at mathfullyexplained.com. And there you'll find information about me, the videos, the type of teaching that I'm going to, style of teaching I'm going to use, and you'll find the content that's on my website, YouTube channel, and everything. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye.